Chapter 20. The cover charge at Puss Groove is $10, but that means nothing to Terrence. He merely points to the group that has just been admitted and says, "They paid for me." Just like that, he's in, melting into the noisy crowd. This place is far too packed and too loud for the bouncers to figure out who belongs and who doesn't. Besides, paying is for suckers. A baboon could get in free. Well, maybe not, because there's Gecko being carded and turned away. It figures. Terrence wouldn't be caught dead in this headbanger heaven, full of stooges from the suburbs who think this is the edge. It's Gecko who's convinced him they have to be there to support RJ at his first gig. And the dumb kid can't even get past the gate. I should just take off. Like Jumbo cares if I come to his show or not. With a sigh of resignation, he pushes his way to the emergency exit and opens the heavy door. No alarm sounds. He's not surprised. Puss Groove is so dilapidated it's amazing the roof stays on. "Gecko," he hisses, "get in here." The 14-year-old slinks down the alley, and Terrence hustles him inside. "Real smooth, man," Terrence says sarcastically. Gecko is defensive. "What can I do if the guy cards me?" Terrence regards him pityingly. "He carded you because you stood there with your stupid puppy eyes saying, 'Please let me in.' You've got to show some attitude." No wonder Gecko worships Douglas Healy. The kid is a newborn. He couldn't have lasted much longer in juvie. As they descend the tunnel-like staircase, the roar of the music swells. Terrence winces in true pain. He's got nothing against volume, but in this case, that's all there is. Haven't these idiots ever heard of hip-hop? "I hope RJ's band is better than this," Gecko shouts in his ear. Fat chance. Downstairs is a crush of dancing, gyrating people who don't seem to notice how pathetic the music is, or don't care. The keel haulers clatter to a merciful end, and there's blessed quiet for a few seconds until the DJ puts on something even worse. Terrence takes advantage of the migration toward the bar and bathroom to grab Gecko and worm their way up front. No point in supporting RJ if RJ can't see them there, supporting him. All at once, Gecko is pulling on his sleeve. "Cut it out, man! You trying to get us bounced?" "Terrence, look!" It's Casey Wagner, the doom crier from their therapy group. He's surprised to see her at first, but on second thought, it makes sense. This is her kind of place. Her music and her crowd, her Disney World version of living dangerously. "We can't let her see us," Gecko hisses. "If she mentions it at group, Avery might try to get in touch with Healy. And you know where that leads." Terrence regards him in amusement. "Fine. We'll lay low. But how is she supposed to overlook that 260-pound clodhopper when Brown Day hits the spotlight?" "We could go backstage and warn him," Gecko persists. "Maybe he'll call off the show." Terrence snorts. He's not as freaked as the others about being exposed. When it all falls apart, he intends to run away. It's not rocket science. "Lighten up, Gecko. This is the guy's dream, to play bad music in a toilet. Whatever happens, happens." If Gecko wants to argue, he's too late. First, the lights are cut, plunging the club into darkness. Next, a guitar chord sounds so loud, so raw, that Terrence can feel his cuticles shrinking back into his fingers. Then the lights blaze on, and the onslaught of "This page cannot be displayed" is unleashed on the patrons of Puss Groove. Terrence isn't a fan of this kind of music, but he can tell from the reaction of the audience around him that this page is making a big impression. From the very first note, the crowd has come alive, bouncing like pogo stickers minus the hardware. Rat Boy, the singer, is darting around the stage like a bat with faulty sonar. Voodoo is just a blur at the drums. The no-name bassist is kicking like a chorus girl while delivering background chords like depth charges. But all eyes are on RJ Moran. He's just standing there, really, not strutting like the others, barely moving, but the sheer size of him and his intense concentration, it's obvious that his presence and sound are something new and special. It's impressive, and Terrence doesn't impress easily. Over the assault of pure punk, he can hear the words "new guitarist" shouted from mouth to mouth. "Who is that? Wasn't he with E. coli before this? No, that guy was half the size of him. Maybe he's from the West Coast. Forget the West Coast, Terrence bellows into the fray of speculation. I'll tell you who that is. That's my dog. As the show goes on, RJ's performance becomes more daring, more creative, and more spectacular. By the time Rat Boy introduces the band, the guitarist he calls RJ receives an ovation that literally brings the house down. Plaster drifts from the ceiling as roaring fans stamp the floor and pound the walls. The set goes on longer than expected because there are 4 encores. There'd be more, but this page has run out of material. The stage is doused with airborne drinks as the band departs, the ultimate tribute. One amplifier short-circuits in a shower of beer and sparks. There's a delay before the next band can come on. The DJ fills the silence with more ghastly noise. Gecko is glowing with excitement as he wheels on Terrence. He's really good. Terrence nods grudgingly. If he played decent music, he could be a star. Let's go backstage and say hey. A few seconds later, struggling to make progress through the sea of fans, they find themselves face to face with Casey. Oh my God, you guys! Why didn't you tell me? Terrence tries to play it down. It's no biggie, girl. Everybody's got a hobby. Are you kidding me? I'm down here every weekend. All these people are. We have a good time, but you know what really keeps us coming back? The thought that one day, maybe we're going to hear something different. Something revolutionary. An artist. I can't believe he's on parole. Gecko bristles. He's not on parole. Technically, the 3 of them are still in custody. Parole is something they can only dream about. I mean, whatever you guys are on. They must ride you pretty hard. And instead of just surviving, RJ finds a way to develop a great talent. How does he do it? He's got it going on, Terrence acknowledges with a yawn. No, I mean, how does he actually do it? Casey persists. I want to talk to him, find out about his creative process. We'll let him know you're looking for him, Terrence drawls, accidentally on purpose allowing the flow of bodies to separate them. The tiny backstage area doubles as an office and storage locker. It's bedlam, with this page fresh from their set, and the headliners who are waiting for the sizzling amp to be replaced so they can go on. A slick-haired 30-something in a black turtleneck is schmoozing RJ and his bandmates. It's never too early to think about hooking up with a good manager. If we can get you seen by the right people, a recording contract is a slam dunk. Dog! Calls Terrence from the doorway. RJ looks up and grins at them. I saw you guys out there. You should have told me you were coming. I could have got you in free. Terrence shrugs. Maybe you can score us a refund. Rat Boy regards RJ sharply. Are we boring you, man? We're talking about our future here. We played one set, RJ reminds him. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. To Gecko and Terrence, his reluctance is easy to understand. Convicts can't sign recording contracts, and they certainly can't go on tour. Voodoo tries to smooth things over. Guitarists, very high-strung. The business conversation continues with the original band members, and RJ goes over to join his roommates. You are awesome, Gecko enthuses. Thanks. It means a lot that you guys showed up. I really wasn't expecting it. And don't worry about all this manager talk. I won't let it get out of hand. We might have another problem, Terrence informs him. You know that chick, Casey, from Group? RJ nods. I saw her in the audience. I've met her here before. She's into this whole scene. Well, now she's your #1 fan, Terrence continues. And she's got a mouth on her. Gotcha. RJ looks grim. She knows we're not supposed to be here, but then again, neither is she. She didn't rat me out last time, but just to be safe, we'd better remind her not to mention anything around Avery. Remind isn't the word I was thinking of, Terrence says darkly. What else can we do? Asks Gecko. We have no control over what she says or doesn't say. We can make sure she's so scared of us that she'll be good and careful not to spill the beans about your secret rock star life. Gecko is wide-eyed. You mean just threaten her, right? We wouldn't actually do anything. Terrence is growing impatient. When you threaten, you have to be ready to do something. That's where your whole cred comes from. It's being willing to do something that means you won't have to do it. But what if you do have to do it? Calm down, RJ soothes. We won't see her till next Thursday. Tonight will be ancient history by then. In your dreams, Terrence sneers. You're an artist. She wants to frame your used underwear and hang it on her wall. Sure enough, as they leave Puss Groove via the stage door in the alley, there's Casey, holding up a street lamp, waiting for them. She rushes to RJ. Wow, where do I even start? There's so much I want to ask you. Terrence steps forward. Listen, Casey, can I talk to you for a second? RJ puts an iron grip on his shoulder and moves him bodily out of the way. Terrence glares at him. What are you doing, man? We've got to make sure she understands how it is. I've got it covered, RJ assures him. He steers Casey away from his roommates and deeper into the alley, where they can have some privacy. Casey is gushing. When I saw you here before, I figured it was just a one-time thing. What kind of group home lets you come and go as you please? Join a band? Go to rehearsals and midnight shows? In that moment, RJ realizes that Terrence is right. She must be silenced. But he can't see himself following the Florian method. Without even making a conscious decision, he leans forward and presses his lips against hers. For a second, Casey is shocked. Soon, though, she is kissing him back with real enthusiasm. From the end of the alley, Terrence and Gecko watch in bemused amazement. Terrence puts an arm around the smaller boy's shoulders. That's another way to plug up a big mouth,